So, golly gosh, gee darn shucks. I had 3 hoses that were blown out and another one, equally old, waiting to blow out next time I used it, with one of the blown out hoses already having been recycled and put to use, draining the Lycor from the EcoPod, because that in fact is a thing. However, if we get away from the sidetracks and focus once again on the apparently impending, hopefully short, sharp little fire season into which we're about to enter, this has to be fed. And you've seen what's happened to my 6-year-old 25mm nylon El Cheapy hoses, which did 5 dozen months in service. 6 dozen perhaps, but yeah, 2019 I'm pretty sure I got these, so yeah, 6 dozen. But as the saying goes, what's the point of raising your son to be a firefighter if he doesn't have contacts and know where to order some new fire hoses for the old man's collection? And despite the Chinese caricature of the sort of hillbilly who wants their own fire hoses, seems to be the right stuff. Inch diameter, well, we asked for 25mm, 30 metre length, 0.95mm thickness, 8 bars working pressure. Well, I tested these 4 lengths of hose yesterday at 100 psi, which is 8 bar. 30 bar bursting pressure, well, I didn't test that because I've got a pressure limiter on my pump. -10 to +45. Well, yeah, full of water, they shouldn't get heated up too much more than that. So, a pair of 15mm hoses with which to run the tower of light and shower, and a pair of 30mm hoses, 30-metre hoses to run the external sprinklers, and another brand new one in the box waiting for fittings with which to run the sprinkler permanently set up atop the shipping container. To protect the tent, with an overlapping, interlocking wet dome to join that from the tower of light and shower. And wet down the defended area. Such as it is. With sprinklers on sleds, on tripods, deployable upwind to stretch the lobe of the wet dome over the top of a defendable area. One does one's best to try to comply. Hoses flake, connected, water in the tank, suction hose, weighted, connected, pumps, tank, another buoy wall, second pump, second suction pipe with its basket weighted with a lead donut for single person operation and no stuffing around when you throw it into the buoy wall. And a shut-off valve with Stort's fittings and a spare nozzle on the nozzle of the safety hose. Figure 8 flaked on metal buckets. Ready to go at some short amount of time's worth of notice. To be honest, last time I had to put out a fire that was threatening this place, none of the fancy-pantsy $16,000 fire plan was of any help at all whatsoever. What actually worked was the 16-litre firefighting backpack in the footwell in the back of my car. Because having all that equipment ready for an ember attack with some notice is one thing. What you have to do is to be ready to act as fast as possible to jump on a little fire before it grows up to become a big fire. At least, such is my impression. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.